Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And shalom to you sincere, hopeful, elect brothers and sisters listening and learning, and to you brothers preaching and teaching this truth through the four corners of the earth. This is the brother Nathan, come out of the GMS Indianapolis camp. Come back with a quick one just through the spirit. I had this on my mind. I don't got anything written down, just roll through the spirit. This is get right into it. This is a Second Timothy 3:1. It says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come." All right, and we know that you know that we're in the last days by what this word. All right, by these are prophecies. All right, what Yahweh Shemel Shai has already declared from us from the beginning. All right, on the what was gonna go on. All right, and we know the end times truly started when what? When Yahweh Shai was put to death on the cross for the sins of the nation of Israel, right? So now we're at the end of the end as we're approaching World War III. Well, technically it's already been started, but not the full all-out war hasn't started. All right, because you got the likes of Russia and Ukraine going on, and then some heating up is Taiwan and China, and then you got Israel with the Palestinians, and so things are heating up as Yahweh Shemel Shai, who mind you, Yahweh is a man of war, right? It's called him the Lord of Hosts. He's the Lord of Armies. So Yahweh Shemel Shai is about war, and we knowing that He's in control for his man's goings of the Lord. How then can a man understand his own way? Proverbs 20 and 24, right? All right, so we're at the end, but we got so we got these scriptures, all right, to keep us aligned and be able to stay grounded, But yeah, let me rambling a little bit. We're gonna get that definition on perilous real quick. This is perilous, and in Greek it's kalepos, I believe. Let me play it.
Strong's G 5467. Chalipas. Chalipas.
Yeah, kalepos. All right, which means it goes into to the idea of reducing the strength, difficult, i.e., dangerous, or by implication, furious, fierce, perilous, right? Is there something else on here? I'm curious. But yeah, so I say, hey, there's an outline usage. It says hard to bear, troublesome, hard to do, to take, dangerous, right? So we're entering in the dangerous times, all right, especially for you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, those of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Whether you believe or you don't believe, you are going to fall under the persecution that's going to come along with Jacob's trouble. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. This is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." All right. And Jacob, we know, is the forefather, who we got his name changed to Israel. He's the forefather of the Israelites, all right, the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. Jacob had 12 sons. All right. And God's name changed to Israel, which in the Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew, it's Yasharallah, which means he, Prince Power. He's the prince of the power. And, as the men of the nation, all right, were princes, heirs to the throne, right? Then the daughters would be what? Princesses, all right? Ain't no damn queens, all right? If you look into queen in the etymology, it's spelled Quean, which, goes to being a whore, prostitute, There's nothing positive with that. And that's why, not to get off topic, I'm just a little bit everywhere, but it's all right. That's why that word is pushed so heavily amongst the women of this world, ran by Esau, you know, that word is pushed because, hey, words come with vibrations with it, words mean stuff. Just like the words of Yahweh Bashim Shai, what? Sharper than any two-edged sword, right? So these actually do something to you. All right. But yeah, we're into these Jacob's trouble. All right. So persecution's gonna come down on us because what? This devil's about to come down having great wrath, seeing that he is what? Short time. Revelation 12:12. That's you know, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, gonna come down and rain his wrath because what? It's the end of his kingdom. All right, he's gonna blame you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, for the downfall of his kingdom. All right, especially those that know that they're Israelites, that they're the Hebrew Israelites. All right, but that's why the scriptures say, look at this. It's Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. What times? The end times. All right. This is in strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh Hashem Shai is his treasure. All right. So having this word in you, all right, and knowing, rehearsing the righteous acts, and then understanding and knowing the times that we're in and the times that we're coming into. All right. So us in the know, we got to keep our faith. Stay strong in prayer to Yahweh Shemel Shai. Continue to fast. All right. Because we're gonna need Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right. This is the true names. It's the only names we can call upon to be saved. All right. Because Yahweh, which means He is or He exists, who the world calls God, and Yahweh Shai, which means He saves or He delivers, who the world calls Jesus. All right, those are the true names, Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. But see, these people of the earth, they're not being made ready for the end. They don't want salvation. They believe, 2/3 of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans believe you already got salvation here on earth, man. You love oppression, because that's at the end of it. That's really what it truly is. You people love oppression. All right, y'all love darkness rather than light. All right, because what? Your deeds are evil. All right, you just rather just double down on your wickedness because that's what's comfortable for you. Oh, that's all I've known is to be wicked. All right, hey, but shit, Yahweh Shema Shai's commanding us what? To repent ye and be converted, because what? The kingdom of heaven is at hand. All right, but see, that's only for the elect. Only the elect are going to come back to call upon the true names Yahweh Shema Shai, right? And what else are they going to do? They're going to lift up and praise His holy name, and then guess what? They're going to rehearse the righteous acts. They're going to show forth their faith by their works. All right, you know. They're not going to be doing stuff for a gimmick, or for be the side of men. No, they're gonna seek Yahweh Shema Shai in truth and sincerity. All right. But see, this wisdom knowledge is supposed to be the stability of our times, just like it says. This is Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the Scriptures might have hope. See, and see, we're prisoners of hope. All right, because we don't know our individual outcomes. You know what I'm saying? But we know, like the scriptures say, put on the elect. All right. So there's certain attributes you got to follow. You know what I mean? You're gonna be giving your body up as a living sacrifice, going down the highways and byways, doing these electronic epistles. All right, which an epistle is a letter, but we're doing it via the internet, through YouTube and other various platforms, all right, to push the word out. Okay. using the internet for the true purpose was to push the word, not all this folly, which is set in great dignity in this world, man. All right, the internet wasn't made to be used for bullshit. No, it was made to push this truth. This is the Most High's internet. Okay, you know. But see, they wanna stay and be comfortable here. All right, let's go back to that. So it says, back to 2 Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. So just destruction is gonna come upon this place, man. Dangerous times are coming. All right, I'll just give you one prophet, one heavy prophecy. That's Jacob's trouble, and then and what's tied to that also is what Revelation 13:16 on down. All right, the MOT to the B, that mark, that grain of rice, that chip. All right, that's gonna be what? That's gonna try all men, rich or poor, free or bond. Right? That's gonna be the ultimate temptation. Who you gonna serve? You gonna serve Esau, even the so-called white man, and try your hardest to stay in the system, or you're gonna deny him and deny Esau, even the so-called white man, and not take that chip. All right, and trust in Yahweh Shemel Shai. That's what it's about. But see, like once again, ultimately, the elect of the nation of Israel, they're gonna do all to stand in those days to come. Yeah, we of the hopeful elect, we we're praying that Yahweh Shemashai continues to show us favor. Not just show us favor like he's not been taking care of us all along, but to continue to keep us in the straight and narrow. All right, to keep us on that straight gate path, straight gate lifestyle. Right, and straight means a position of difficulty because it's a rough road to salvation. But if you're of the hopeful, we can see the light at the end of this dark ass tunnel, called America Babylon the Great, who's got the whole world in confusion, man. You know, but not his select men, women, and children. That are going to be saved in the times to come. Okay, verse 2. And see, these are some tell signs also of that we're at the end. It says, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. And see, that's why, and that's the ultimate. See, that's why there's a gang of words in here. But let me go through a couple, proud and boasters. That's why it says in Galatians, I already had it up. This is Galatians 6:3. It says, for if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. Yep. Yep, and that's for all these prideful ass people, man. They got their nose up in the air, like Yahweh Shemesh, like they just doing everything right. All right, but Yahweh Shemesh is gonna knock these people down, man. All right, that's why I said pride goeth for destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Or Proverbs 16 and 18, I believe. And that's about to come upon the proud of this world, man. Ultimately, starting with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and all these heathen nations that have lifted up the head against the nation of Israel. But then, guess what? 2/3 of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans set to be destroyed. You're proud as hell too, following after, the god of this world, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, who you've been deceived by, who ultimately Yahweh Shemel Shai deceived you, just like has caused you to err, because guess what? Romans 11:7 says what? That the election obtained it and the rest were blinded. You know. So, hey, ultimately, how about Shemeshai didn't want you, and on this side of the fence, you just don't count. You're just as the heathen. Just like Romans ninth chapter talks about, they're not all Israel that are of Israel. Because you got fleshly Israelites all throughout the four corners of the earth that, go back to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and then Jacob, right? All the way through that seed line, right? But they're acting as the heathen. So guess what? They're going to receive the a heathen reward, and that's death and destruction upon them. All right, on this side, and for them to be born back through the loins of the elect in the kingdom of heaven when it's established. Okay, and then they'll be back in their right mind. All right, with the law, statutes, commandments written in their inward parts. All right, we're gonna have that new covenant, right? The new bodies along with it. All right, we're gonna be made perfect. So like I said, these people we're in like I said, that social media era, where Instagram, Facebook is all about the pride of life, man. Everybody else on there just faking it, fake smiles, but behind those pictures and likes are fucking, they're just dead, man. They're just zombies. They're truly not happy. People killing each other killing themselves because they're not getting likes or they're getting bullied under their comments on their pictures. People are fucking weak, man. You know, this paper mache society, everything just is just weak and trash, man. It says blasphemers. You got all these podcast niggas talking shit. Everybody just going live or buying microphone equipment, just because they got the funds to do it, and then they're talking shit. And these podcast niggas be having some decent points and stuff, all the way until what? All of a sudden, it seems like they get slipped a bag and they start going in on the Hebrew Israelites. You know, all this man, especially all the manaverse people. The red pill people. All of a sudden, they'll talk some real shit, but really, ultimately, everything they talk about goes back to the scriptures, anyways. And a lot of these people listen to us and then try to remix it, and, and repackage it like they came up with it, right? But they keep that worldly vibe going with it. But see, we're giving it to y'all straight, no chaser, as the scriptures are commanded us to. It says that in bear with me, get that real quick. It's Isaiah 58:1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. See? It says, cry aloud and spare not, and lift up thy voice like a trumpet. Alright? So it's not sparing your feelings. Like I said, straight, no chaser. Because that's commanded of us, because we're not to take away nor add to the words of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Alright, otherwise what? He's going to add the plagues written in the book on us. Alright? Or he's going to what? Take us out of the book of life. Alright? And we don't want to do that. We want to be part of that first round draft picks. Alright, we want to make it on the first go around. We want them crowns. Let's get this back to 2 Timothy 3 and verse 2 again. It says, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents. Yeah, these YNs. All right. You see these young dudes, man, disrespecting they teachers, disrespecting their parents, disrespecting, what they call they OGs, right? You see countless videos, thousands of videos of these young motherfuckers, man, straight up disrespecting, the elderly, But hey, these GMO YNs, all right, which they're gonna be destroyed. You know, a lot of these little pack of hyena wolf ass YNs, you know, they're going around causing chaos. You know, they're becoming packs of spirits of vengeance, man. You know, but see, that's all part of the Lord's movie. It's to show you the decay of this society, man. All right, and that like the 2/3 is waxing worse and worse. All right, the people that Yahweh Shemel Shai don't want of his own people, they're just as bad as these heathen, man. And they match the society that we live in, which is complete trash. All right, and it's full of Satan. All right, unthankful, unholy. Right, they're not making themselves separate. All right, they're not trying to be holy. They're not trying to rehearse the righteous acts. They don't want to. They don't want to stick to the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability. All right, they think, oh, that's whack. That's that. Oh, that's that Bible talk. Like it's something negative. Man, shut the fuck up, nigga. Like we talking something negative. Here it is. We're telling y'all we're the greatest people on earth. You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. Like I said, we're future kings. We're princes. You know, our daughters are princesses. You know, and our wives are princesses. You know, but see, Jay don't want that. They just want to be a nigga. As long as they got their little bullshit 9 to 5 job, you know, working a warehouse or grocery store, and they can get their little money for their little drugs, their little weed, and enough to get them a little Caesar's pizza, man. Hey, man, they straight. You give them a video game, they own. Real low level thinking, man. And that's why the Lord's gonna dissolve you niggas, man. All right. Verse 3. Without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce. And that's another thing, too. And that goes with these false prophets, too, man. These false ass camps coming against the true men of the Lord, which started from the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone on down, because we got the 100% truth. All right? Like I said, ain't no camp banging, it's the truth. All right, all these other camps got these Swiss cheese doctrines, man. There's holes all in them. All right? And they come out and, you know, oh, y'all are grapists and y'all do this and y'all do this. Straight false accusing, man. None of us have been arrested. How are we out here just teaching all over the place? And we these so-called, we just out here graping everybody. Just serial grapists, huh? Get the fuck out of here, man. Because you niggas is emotional, man. And that's why Yahweh Shema Shai is going to destroy y'all too, man. Because y'all ain't men. You're getting all caught in the emotions. We're bringing out what the thus said the scriptures, man. It says, despisers of those that are good, right? And people hate the men of the Lord, man. Like I said about them podcast niggas, man. These just people of the world. They hate us for pushing righteousness. Well, and it makes sense. Because here it is, you got wicked rulership. Job 9:24 says what? The earth was given into the hands of the wicked. All right. Malachi 1:4 says what? For Esau, Edom is what? The border of wickedness. All right. And they're in the power seat. So, like in Sirach, the 10th chapter, so is the ruler, so is his officers, and then the people, matter of fact, let me get that real quick. So this is the result when you have wicked rulership. Sirach 10:1, it says a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered, right? And that's why the Israelites, in they right mind, of course, need to be back in rulership. Because we were made to govern the earth, all right? Because the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Shemel Shah, the true living power, is what needs to be established back here on the earth. All right, because it's pure balance. All right, because Yahweh Shem Shai deals with balance. That's why he controls both good and evil. Isaiah 45:7. Look at that. Read that scriptures. All right. It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. In what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. See? You got wicked rulership, guess what? All the officials, all your government officials, all the way down to the common regular people, everyday people, are completely wicked. Why? Because the rulership's wicked. That's why. You know, it starts from the top and comes and it moves on down. All right. Let's go back to. All right, it's back to 2 Timothy 3. Now to verse 4. It says, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh Shem Shai. And you see it. Here it is. We're reproving our people. Hey, don't eat that shrimp, crab, pork, or lobster. All right, that's killing you. All right, it's unlawful. The Lord didn't set that up to be our food. All right, yeah, they serve their purpose. They have their purpose on this earth, but it's not for consumption. But of course, guess what? Oh, let's start something else real quick. That's why this whole world is jacked up too. Like I said, the wicked rulership, and then it's Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. See, when you have righteous rulership, that's balanced. That balances everything. It's fair. It's perfect. All right. It's from the living power himself, Yahweh Shem Shai, right? And everybody benefits off a righteous rulership. But when the wicked beareth rule, what do the people do? The people mourn. And you see it, man. These people are mourning out here. They ain't truly happy. The bread and circus is barely keeping these people going, man. The mirth is gone. The club, bar scene, that shit is trash. All right, the sports is all watered down, trash. All that sports betting, the blatant cheating and fixing games, it's through the roof. It's so watered down, and you can just tell these games are fixed, man. All right, so it's ruining everything. So even the bread and circus, it ain't holding up anymore, man. You might go out to eat. A lot of these food places are trash. Don't matter what type of money you're paying for the looks of the place versus the actual food. It don't matter if you go to some type of fine dining place down to, a damn taco truck. A lot of this shit is just trash. Why? Because this whole society is trash. All right. All right, verse 5, it says, back to 2 Timothy 3 and 5. It says, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. Right. And see, that's another thing, too. Like, especially with these other Hebrew Israelite camps. All right, IUIC, ISUPK, Sakari, and all these other ones that keep popping up all over, right? Well, guess what? Yeah, y'all got the look. You'll say, Shalom, y'all, right? You say all that, and you got the garments, but when you look at the doctrine, it's all jacked up. Then how y'all moving as a unit? All jacked up. All right, that's why the simple believeth every word and are confounded from. I think I'm jacking that one up. Yeah, this is what the simple. Let me find that real quick. Simple. Yep, kind of perfect. was the one? It was like simple belief every word nor punish. That's how it goes. Mm. Yep, gone. This Proverbs 27:12. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. Right? So a prudent man, all right, he's going to be well in order upon the events that are coming up. All right, we're foreseeing. See, we're seers, right? We're seeing the times. We're understanding that. Guess what? This shit's about to be getting crazy quick. You got these tariffs. You know the trade war, which that's a war. Okay, that's a form of war, a trade war, right? There's a key word, war, right? You know, so that's part of the wars and rumors of wars. This trade war is happening, and it's gonna affect us all soon. You know, especially when there's no, these shipping containers ain't coming over like they used to. Via, like I said, ships or planes. Which ships is the most they can hold a lot more than most, and it's cheaper. You know, so boats is the main deal, right? Especially when you get these products from China. Okay, but now you in these trade wars. Got these tariffs going on left and right. Hey, we're about to feel it. So guess what? It won't hurt to get ahead of the game and get a few items stocked up. Like I said, like I just read, prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. All right? The Yahweh Shemel Shai gave us his knowledge, so guess what? If you get a little bit of extra water, some extra food, some canned goods or whatnot, some non-perishables, quote unquote. We're not saying fucking stack up for 5 to 10 years, no. But if you got a month of, provisions, hey, why not? If you got it. Ultimately, we're not leaning on that to save us. We're leaning on Yahweh Shemel Shai. But he's giving us the knowledge, the understanding to do so. That's why brothers is in the gym, getting physically fit, through the spirit power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, eating right, just getting ready for what's to come, man. All right? Because it's going to be hell out here breaking loose, man. All right? So, hey. But ultimately, that we're betting on Yahweh Shemel Shai. But we got to, guess what? Show our faith, what? By our works. All right? So, the Lord gave us all this knowledge and things to look out for. Well, we got to apply it. All right? That's part of believing. All right? It says, but the simple pass on and are punished. Yep. There's another one saying the simple believeth every word. Yeah. But see, the simple people are the ones going to get all caught up in this madness, which is what, the 2/3 of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, set up to be destroyed. All right, this is back to verse 2 Timothy 3 and verse 6 now. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Yep, these false pastors. All right, from the Christian church, from Islam, all these other fucking philosophies, man. And then, especially those of the circumcision that know they're Israelites and refuse, all right, to repent and change their doctrine to the correct doctrine. All right, you doubling down on, Apostle Paul's writing ain't biblical, and sleeping with white men's the mark. There ain't gonna be no Jacob's trouble. See, all that is wicked, man. Wicked. And y'all gonna have to eat that because the blood's gonna be on your hand. All right, because you're not warning the flock. That's why, matter of fact, oops, stop you. This Jeremiah 23, verse 1 says, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith Yahweh Shemashai. Woe goes into destruction. All right? Like I said, from the pastors, like I said, the damn celebrity, hey, celebrities, Christian church, Islam, these other philosophies and crazy ass doctrines. Like I said, those of the circumcision that know they're Israelites, man, but they ain't teaching the correct doctrine. They're gonna be destroyed because you're scattering the flock. All right, you're not bringing them into the full fold of Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Verse 2. Therefore, thus said Yahweh Bashem El Shai, God of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Right. When you're not visiting them, you what? You're not bringing them the full truth. All right. You're not making sure that they have the right nourishment in their body to continue to live. Right. All right. Because this word will set you free. All right. Cutting down the mental chains. But it only goes so far. But then you hit a stumbling block, and then get caught out there. And these other groups are stumbling blocks, man. The Christian church is a stumbling block. Islam is a stumbling block. All right. Only the elect are going to make it out of those situations. All right. It says, behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith Yahweh Bashem El Shai. See, how's the Lord going to visit you? With death and destruction, man. All right. With the plagues that are written in this book. Okay. Pestilence. All right. The earthquakes. All right. Storm and tempest. Teeth of wild beast. All right. The Yahweh Shemashah has an infinite ways to take you out of here, man. So this ain't no game, and it's all right because playtime's about over, man. You can feel it in the air. Verse 3. And I will gather the remnant. Oh, the remnant. See, the elect. We're not here for the whole nation of Israel. The whole nation of Israel, 2/3 don't want to be Israelites. They want to be blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, they're 10 toes down and being something that they're not supposed to be. All right, they don't want to be Israelites. Because guess what? That comes with accountability. And our people don't want to be accountable. Shit, they're stiff-necked, Hearts of adamant stone, hard-headed, all right? Don't want to listen. It says, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them. And that was a part of the curses, Deuteronomy 28:64. All right, we were scattered amongst all for the four corners of the earth. All right, as a punishment for what? Not following Yahweh Shem El Shai. Not doing doing the righteous acts via his law, statute, commandments. So guess what? Part of the punishment, we were scattered across the four corners of the earth to serve other gods, man. All right, to this day, because we're not in our homeland, Israel. Yeah, I'm sure we have, some speckled birds that are mixed amongst them, of course. But in the entirety, no, we're not over in our holy land under righteous rulership. The wicked's over there. It says, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith Yahweh Bashem El Shai. And it says, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh Bashem El Shai, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. See? It said, in his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name whereby he shall be called the Lord of our righteousness. Which is who? Yahweh Shai. Alright? He's our Savior. Yahweh Shai. Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. Alright. So that's prophecy. That's getting ready to be fulfilled when Yahweh Shai cracks some clouds, comes back, and rains death and destruction on the sinners of his people, and subdues these nations. All right, takes out all their rulership, and you're gonna see that Yahweh Bashim Shai alone is gonna be, guess what, exalted in that day, and we're approaching it quickly. All right, let's go back to 2 Timothy 3 and verse 7 again. It says, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. And so you got a lot of people that are, got a lot of, worldly knowledge, and then they dabble here in the Bible, and they want to dabble these other books and dabble over here. But like I said, ever learning, but not coming to the 100% truth. You got people that got knowledge on this and that, but they don't have the simplicity of the truth. They don't understand Yahweh Shemel Shai, or they think they need more. All right, well, the scriptures say the wisdom of this world is what? Foolishness with the Most High, man. But see, Jacob go and collect all these degrees and have these thousands of books. But like I said, never coming to the 100% truth. You just got worldly knowledge. Which some of the worldly knowledge is good to have, but it's not the ultimate. All right. Verse 8. Now as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth. See? Just how Moses had to deal with that. The mocking, the scoffing, and all the prophets of old. They had to deal with our own people coming against us, man. You see how Yahweh Shai had to deal, man. These people are wicked, man. His own people got him put on the cross, man. All right, so there's nothing new under the sun, man. These same wicked spirits are back, all right, to try to kill the prophets today. All right. It says, so do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith. But they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. See? And they're going to be taken out of here, and just like a gorilla Hebrew, a fucking brute beast. All right. He got put on blast, man. After 10-year plus reign of being disobedient, ultimately being disobedient to Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right. After being reproved 1,000 times over and not taking it, and being puffed up with pride, getting put on Front Street, and that's why that Sakari is diminishing. All these camps are going to diminish, especially when it comes to that MOT to the B. At Revelation 13:16 on down, they gonna fold. Well, you see IUIC already trying to act like they've always been talking and trying to, push their way to saying, oh yeah, it's the RFID CHIP, right? We've been telling you the whole time, you idiots. Nah, it don't work like that. You gotta be sincere, man. Come out and just say it. Hey, I want to repent of this. I was teaching y'all wrong. So you see, Jake worry about that money, and they bullshit congregation that really ain't there for the truth. They're there for the double Dutch competition. the family cookouts. Just like the Christian church. Y'all there for the basketball league. Y'all ain't there to learn about the Lord. You know? So, hey, we coming into them times, man. It's about to get ugly quick. Once again, I'll read 2 Timothy 3 and 1. This know also that in the last days, perilous times shall come, and it's happening. It's getting dangerous out here. People losing their minds. You're seeing, like I said, brothers, we always talk about that Newsbreak app. Just in your area, it's just countless judgments. And a majority is Jake, man. You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Because remember, Yahweh Shai going to judge his people first. Because they're his people. Just like you would do with your children, right? You ain't gonna go and beat on the neighbor kids, that are acting out. You gonna go and snatch up your children. Like, hey, get your asses over here. The neighbor kids, and that's like what the heathen. They gonna have to work. They don't count. I'm your father, right? So I'm gonna deal with you just like Amos 3 and 1, down to 2. All right. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. All right. Because he brought us up out of Egypt. Okay. Here, I'm gonna end it off on this, Lord willing. It's Romans chapter 13, verse 11, and it reads, "And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed." All right, so yeah, hey, we're about to be out of here, and then us of the hopeful elect, we already, like I said, we feel it, like, man, something's about to happen soon. Well, guess what? Yahweh Shema Shai is getting ready to far exceed even what we think. All right. So with that, I pray that was edifying to the elect. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Kwame Nasrallah, Shalom.